people who downloaded their Google data and went through it, what were the most unsettling things you found out they had stored about you? That there is a map of everywhere I went in the last couple of years that's accurate to the hour. Or, can we all upvote this same question next week when everyone has received their information? There's an audio recording of me saying check the Jewish boy's penis. I don't remember ever saying that, but okay. I'm the vice president of a company that I've never heard of, and can't find any other info on it. Okay, I have a weird but serious question. My husband passed away last year. I still have his S7. I'm also 99% sure I have his Google account information, but if not, I'm sure the password is saved in his phone. If this thing really does record voices, how would I go about downloading his Google data? I just want to hear his voice again. I'm starting to tear up as I type this, but seriously. I only have one voicemail from him on my phone and maybe a couple videos. Anything more I can get of his voice, pictures of him I haven't been able to restore, anything I can get I want. I miss him so fucking much. If you use Google Photos and allow Maps to track your location. I took photos that I didn't like, deleted them. Weeks later I am just browsing my timeline in Google Maps and those deleted photos are there, tagged to the location. Nothing incriminating, just thought you should know that a delete isn't a delete. Edit. A lot of people aren't reading this properly, so let me clarify. I didn't say I found my photos on Google Photos Cloud after deleting them on my phone. I found my cloud deleted photos on Google Maps timeline. And please spare me the guess what Google still has it paranoid shit. I know they still have it, and I don't care, I am merely answering Op's question. Apparently I sleepwalk thousands of kilometers and then manage to get back home in time for work. Also a bunch of recordings of my computer's fan spinning. But well, at least they got me on the fetish porn searches. Ah, Google. Hyped up Google. Incompetent Google. I know my data is in good hands. Edit, found a fart. Till Ron Swanson had it fucking right. My activity is empty. It has been for a long time, so, there shouldn't be anything for me to download, right? Nope. 6 GB of data. Mine is 10 GB, holy shit, it's gonna take a while to download. It is an old account, but I have all activity paused except YouTube watch history, so I'm really interested to see why it's so large. Their profile claims I like Chinese rap. I have no idea why, other than one video I came across in the YouTube rabbit hole. Everyone here after downloading their Google data. I did this a while back and it's basically nothing. Only a few gigs worth of GPS data and some voice recordings back when I had my Galaxy S3 and I wanted to try Google Assistant when it came out. I did get a good chuckle out of half my voice recordings being "Okay Google, go fuck yourself" in my squeaky younger voice. But I don't get how Google is recording secret conversations that can be stored and viewed. I thought this was exclusive to Google voice searches and commands, which are approved by the user in settings. How are these candid conversations being recorded and stored, and how can you view them? It's not unsettling, but I found out that Google can tell when I'm driving a car vs my motorcycle by using the gyroscopes in my phone. It wasn't Google data that shocked me, I am kind of expecting it to know everything about me. This came from Instagram. My period was very late, so naturally, I told my husband in our very private and quiet home setting, and bought a Clear Blue pregnancy test. We don't own TV, Amazon Alexa, Google Voice, or similar. I just have Reddit and Instagram on my smartphone. My period was just late, but the very next day I got bombarded by ads on Instagram about Clear Blue and other pregnancy sticks and some other baby shit. There is no way that it was a coincidence, since it was the second time getting a very, very specific ad. So the app is listening, and showing me ads accordingly. Edit, autocorrect. Edit 2, update. I was telling my husband today about this thread and my comment, and guess what ad I got again on Instagram? Ad, I checked and the app had access to the mic. I think every time you wanna post, it activates the mic access. Edit 3, since many people asked, I bought it with cash. No cards of any sorts involved. Till that you can do that. BRB soon after I go through mine. Recordings of conversations with my boss over 2 years. I don't know why it only had recordings of her and us talking and no one else. Edit, for those wondering, here's how you access and download your data. Edit 2, good night, Reddit. Definitely the voice recordings. That should be turned off by default instead of needing to be changed by the user. Op just got hundreds of people downloading their Google data. Edit, went from a couple hundred to hopefully tens of thousands. Link to download. All phone activity, opened app, closed app etc. From the very first day I owned my phone, constant check of my GPS, constant check of my device orientation. If someone steals your Google account, they basically can find out everything there is to find out about you. The most unsettling one I've had came from Facebook, not Google. Minor bit of background, I'm a straight guy with a lot of LGBT friends and was actively involved in supporting the Australian same-sex marriage campaign, so FB probably had me flagged as gay at the start of 2012. In 2012 I started dating someone. We'd been friends for some time. I'm on Facebook all the time, she had an account but almost never used it. We basically never communicated on Facebook. Immediately Facebook started telling me to mark her as a close friend and all of its ads changed from gay singles cruise and similar to romantic getaways for couples. I can only assume that it was able to tell from GPS that she spent a night at my place, and that I spent one at hers a few days later. Underscore 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 underscore. Edit, a few guesses that Wi-Fi was involved. At the time I didn't have Wi-Fi at my place and while she did I never connected to it. It was 2012 and I had a 2 GB mobile data limit for the month which felt like so much that I couldn't imagine needing more. Not the Google, but hopefully on topic. I have downloaded my data from Facebook, and the most shocking one was a recorded phone conversation of about 30 minutes long. It was dated back around 5 to 7 years ago, and most surprisingly it was not even me who was speaking and I could not even recognize who it was. Edit, as many people ask about how to download your Facebook data, I add here u/propstututus comment. Facebook settings - your Facebook information, access your information, download edit 2, wow, my first silver, thank you kind stranger. Smiley face. Audio recordings titles are generic and serialized, so make sure to take some precautions before listening to them in front of your family or randoms. Please don't make my mistake. Hey Google, how do I increase my penis size? /girlfriend staring at me /. My purchase history on websites like eBay, Amazon, and other companies that, I guess, all sell their data about me to Google. I had no idea of it, and although I share things like my location to Google, seeing my purchases is kind of scary because I never allowed it. Hardly anything was saved. I'm very picky in what I allow an app to access. Sometimes a limited function is annoying, but it seems it pays off. My first ever Google search was what is a chicken, and the second was are chickens real? So many drunken audios. Like, not even meant for the phone, just background talking while, most of the times, very drunk. It was half unsettling, half fun to listen to them. Apparently when you press the microphone on the keyboard, I think it's for changing audio to text, it gets sent to Google. And apparently my drunken ass is very prone to misclick it. So how do I fix this? Can I delete it? It's not the most unsettling, but I didn't know until recently that Google tracks all purchases you make. And I don't mean purchases just from Google or using Google Pay, but everything. If you get an email receipt from any store or service, then it's added to the log. I don't know if they scan other Google services, but it wouldn't surprise me. My list of purchases went back over 10 years. You can view yours here. Op is gathering the data that Google gathered to sell to corporations to sell them to other corporations. Wow, mine is seriously boring. Nothing juicy. I feel like I should have more of a problem with Google having my data. Especially voice recordings. But after going through what they had, it's like 400 recordings of me saying make some coffee, play X on Netflix and turn off the lights. Maybe it's a bigger problem for people that use their assistants for more than home control. How do you do that? Shit man, I don't wanna know. I'm doing it right now, prob gonna update this chat when I get my results. I'm scared. Ed 1, the first thing that pops up are old XCO clips of me being cringy while playing Dust 2 casual a couple years ago. Ed 2, I'm finding Minecraft vids and old Blender intros I made, gonna keep you guys updated. Ed 3, found the recordings, nothing really interesting, but I also found the first profile banner and logo I've ever used for YouTube. I also found the first thing I ever did in Photoshop. The last thing is that I found older vids. The best one was me splashing water in my brother's face because of a trending prank. Make sure you do this on PC because it's easier. OMG, thank you guys for the upvotes. Shit, my account is like over 14 years old, I wonder how long the archive process will take. Thanks op, real thanks, not a sarcastic one. Edit, 24 hours in, still hasn't finished building the archive lel. Says it could take days. I just found out Google data was a thing today and checked mine earlier. What are the odds I see this post right now? *X Files theme plays in background. All I know is I definitely can't run for public office. Google knows every location I've been to for the last couple of months. They stored multiple audio files of me talking to colleagues and friends, and worst of all, I did not know they were doing that. My mind is blown and I'm terrified. My private information is no one's business, Google. Also, thanks for spreading awareness, op, have some poor man's gold. Sports medal. I downloaded the Facebook data, and they store every single call's date, length, and the phone number of the other side, what I made in the past. If something is free, you are the product. Read it on Reddit. Now I'm afraid. I don't need 12,500 hours of sound recordings of me beating my dick like it owes me money. I'm a web designer and I can tell you that the scariest shit is not what they have on you, it's how they get that info. Voice and search. Deleted and turned off every single setting under the activity control except YouTube, couldn't really care less about it now. Whenever I played back an OK Google there was some sound before I say OK Google recorded. It's kinda creepy and I hope the operation of data is all offline until an OK Google is detected. I was actually surprised how small amount of info they had aside from the obvious. I have disabled everything that possibly you can think, but yet. That was few years ago, I don't know now. I'm surprised Google hasn't sent social services for how often I search for some stuff. Google has a clip of me asking for a boneless pizza. Just requested it? Kinda scared NGL. Random voice clips when I absolutely hadn't activated Google Assistant. The one that felt weirdest was a random clip from when I was babysitting, and reprimanding a child for misbehaving. Very unsettling. Emailed to myself, still haven't received it, but I think it was a large file, uneasy face. Update, 36 GB all up. If I don't find some goss on myself, this is a waste. Guys, please, do a good search of your Google preferences and disable everything you don't like. My phone is, as far as I'm aware, mine because the settings are very restrictive, and also, fuck Facebook. Why do people put up with this shit? Is there a way to delete any of this data that Google already has of me? These voice recordings are insane and I don't want it to be stored anywhere. All it has shown me is that I spend way too much time on Reddit, so I guess nothing new, way less porn than I was expecting as well. Edit, okay, there is a lot of porn XD. Just found out that Google had recorded bits from my talk with my therapist. That's so fucked. Voice recordings of lil 14 years old me asking to be woken up in 20 minutes. Or entire audio streams of family dinners because somebody may or may not have mentioned something that may or may not sounded anything like "Okay, Google." I've stopped using voice assistants since. Google recorded me saying "I'll take you home" and then my friend replying "You can live with me in my bathtub." The most unsettling came from Facebook, of which I uninstalled and deleted my account right after that. I'll keep it short. Friend's father abandoned him and his mother when he was about 7 and the father never reached out. 2 years ago he had a tough day and we talked about his dad and how life would be different if he did not bail on them. At the same night I was scrolling through Facebook and some fucking old guy that looked very similar to my friend showed up as suggested friends. Immediately I took a screenshot and showed it to him. It was indeed his father that he never talked to for about 18 years. Mind you, my friend never created a Facebook account nor used other platforms, so we talked strictly through Steam. How in the hell did they suggested that to me? I did not even know / had anybody with common friends and it literally popped the same night after a heart-to-heart. Now that this has piqued my interest, can you do the same with Apple data? Because I use Apple more than Google. They had tracked literally everywhere I had been since 2015. They knew every fucking store I'd visited, what date, and what time. Every restaurant, every hair salon, every nightclub, every plant nursery, you name it, they stored it. Google had it all. All innocuously stored under the title Google Timeline. When I discovered Google Maps Timeline feature, it was cool at first, flicking through years of location data, looking at when I'd been on trips, being amazed at how it had guessed what attractions I'd visited, how I'd got there, etc. Then a few weeks later it dawned on me. Through that little rectangle of glass and plastic in my pocket, Google knows where I am every minute of the day. It knows where I live, where I work, what route I take between the two, what times I'm likely to leave and arrive, what my favorite places to visit are, where and when I like to shop. What do I get out of this? It saves me 5 seconds when searching by suggesting places I've visited before. But if someone wanted to ruin my life and got a hold on some of that data, they could seriously screw me over. No thanks. So I went to check, out of curiosity. They have an option to break the archive into chunks of 2 GB, 4 GB, 10 GB, etc. So I chose 4 GB, I figure how bad can it be? This is the response I got: an archive of 44 products is currently being prepared. Please note that archives may take a long time, hours or possibly days, to create. You will receive an email when your archive is complete. Thank you for watching the video. Welcome to Reddit Wisdom. Here you will learn the wisdom of the crowd, the wisdom of Reddit. Please consider subscribing for more Reddit wisdom.